on the 85. 590 Maple. 590 Maple. On the 85. Cross, what's the cross? Kingston and Albany. Kingston and Albany. 590 Maple between Kingston and Albany. Which unit's calling the 85? All time, Central. 1013, 590 Maple. Get some units for ground control. Keep them coming, Central. We need units for ground control. 7-1 boy. 7-1 boy with 2. 1 and 12. 1 and 12. We have shots. We need units for ground control. Purpose in custody. 7 units for ground control. 590 Maple. Kingston and Albany. Van Adam. Van Adam. 3 units here. I was gone. Wars. Alive in 84. 7-1 Charlie, 2. Cross. Kingston and Albany. 590 Maple, Kingston and Albany. Aviation on Central. 4 Central Aviation Base. This is active purpose search, just evidence search. Who's in custody is evidence search. There's a large crowd over there. Get some units over there. See you, Central. People coming, Central. All 6-7 and all 7-1 units, that's 98 90 Maple Street. All 6-7 and all 7-1 for crowd control. Adam, 84, 7 Adam. People coming, get easy. It's fine. 7 Eddie K. People coming. 6-7 units and all 7-1 units to respond to 590 Maple Street for crowd control. All 6-5. Central, we need more. It's 5-9. To the box. Black 4 12. Get a level 1 over there right now. What's going on? What's going on, Central? 590 Maple. We need multiple units for crowd control. Active 85 at this time. 10-5 to unit 84. 84. 467 Charlie. 84 time is 149.
Hey folks, I'm Dutch Doll. I'm the host of Dutch Doll Discussions. How you doing today? I'm doing good. I know you guys didn't ask, but well, you fucking care, but I'm doing good. Keep them coming, Central. Keep them coming. We need more cars here. Keep them coming. That was a 1085, which means, Central, please get me some cars here. That's a cop calling for help. He needs help. The crowd is overrunning their position. They're right behind them. They need help down there. Then it quickly escalated from a 1085, send me a couple cars, to a 1013, send me everybody. Central, in turn, Central to radio, in turn, emptied out 2 precincts. Actually, she emptied out 3. She emptied out the 6-7, the 7-1, and the 7-7. So imagine this. This is what goes on when one of those calls come over. No matter what the fuck you're doing in the precinct, you drop it. Lunch, you drop it. Printing your perp, you throw it back in the cell. You know, writing in the command log, writing out a report, doing a photo array. You know, you're in the shitter. Everything stops, and you got to start running. And when you start doing this, you jump into every car in the parking lot. Any car that's moving, any car you have keys to, you start jumping in these cars. We're rolling 4 or 5 deep in the car because we're trying to get to our friend. We're trying to get to our brother or sister. Happens all the time, 3 or 4 times a day in New York. But we got to get there to help him. He's screaming for help. He needs somebody there. The crowd is overrunning their position. He needs somebody there. And they're going. And you hear it. 7-1 Adam Central. 7-1 Boy Central. 7-1 Charlie Central. We're going. 7-1 David Central. We're going. 6-7 Adam. We're going. 6-7 Boy. We're going. Those are all cars going. That's what you hear. Then you hear cars. They got there pretty quick. When you hear 7-1 Adam going 84, we are on scene. Central, we will check and advise. Yeah. Kind of miss those days. But I was asked a question last month. On September 11th, no less. I'm on Greg Lawless' panel, and some guy comes up, and he goes to me, so what does the thin blue line mean to you? And listen, it was an emotional day for me. I really wasn't, in turn, trying to fuck with anybody. Rogue Nightmare saw it and went after him. This is not the place nor the time. Get the fuck off the panel. I thanked Rogue for that. But he asked me, what does the thin blue line mean to me? And the answer I gave him was correct, but it wasn't entirely what it all means to me. I told him it was one thing all police departments can be joined together with. We're all connected from that thin blue line, is what I meant to say. Well, this is an example of the thin blue line right there, that radio run. That radio run and cops coming to help. You remember the thin blue line. You are holding the line against the criminals, the bad people. Basically what it is. The world has rules. And in John Wick, the movie, the guy who played Winston said it best. Rules is the only thing that separates us from the animals. So these cops roll up in this scene. They have a perp in custody. They're trying to cuff them up, and a building empties out onto them. And now they have no room to work. None. So they start calling for help. Send me everybody. Central, keep them coming. Keep them coming. We need more cars here. Now, these cops must have been scared shitless out of their gourd when a building empties out on you. I know I was when it happened to me. My ass all puckered right up. And then you start to panic. You know you're not going to win because you can't fight 50 fucking people. You can't fight 75 fucking people. And now you're surrounded. How do you get help? Well, folks, this right here is the best piece of police equipment we carry. The best. Because I can get on this magical black box and either pick up a job for a sector or hear what's going on around me because calls are calling in, and I can respond appropriately, which in itself is a whole thing. So you're fighting with this guy. You're trying to cuff him up. The crowd's emptying out. You're fucking nervous. I might not be going home at the end of the night. I might wind up in the hospital. I could be shot. I could be stabbed. I could get the shit beat out of me. My gun could be taken. You know, they could rip my shield off my uniform. They could grab the police radio. They could grab mace. Because you carry... Ultimately, in police work, you carry on your hip the very item that can cause your demise. Plenty of cops have been shot with their own guns. You're going to a fight and you're bringing a gun with you. You can't use the gun, but you're bringing it with you. Now, here's the thin blue line that comes in. Central, get me a unit. And we start going. You know, just from that common denominator, the thin blue line, that people are coming for you. People are coming to help. So you start hearing the sirens. You start seeing the lights reflect off the buildings and whatnot. All of a sudden you think to yourself, I might just make it out. I might just make it out. I might be able to go home and see my wife and kiss my kid and walk the dog and pay a bill. You might be able to. It might happen. But the only reason it's happening is because of the thin blue line. They are coming to help you. They are coming to help me. They are coming to help us. Not only are we out there helping victims of crimes, we also help each other. And the thin blue line, listen, means the world to me. I turn around and I never say no to a cop. Never. A friend of mine just told me today, he's like, the way to get to you, the way people can manipulate you is your soft spot for the badge. I do. You served as a police officer, active or retired, I'll open my door to you. I will. I'll feed you. If you need a little cash, some people are more fortunate than others. And I listen, I can say I know because I've done it for people. I've had guys. I was a union delegate in the NYPD, which means I was out there looking out for my detectives' rights and whatnot, make sure they weren't violated. Nobody took advantage of them when it comes to bosses and the political statements and all stuff like that. I was there to make sure they got every break they needed to get. Because there are rules. Again, there are rules, and there are rules for a reason. It's the one thing that separates us from the animals. It's an important thing to realize. So you twist and turn, and these cops get there. All's well that ends well. Everything's cleaned up. Perp's in custody. They take it back to the station house. They start the arrest processing. But that cop who made the arrest, the cop called for help, is now back at the precinct with this perp, and he's thanking every cop that walked back into that precinct. Because you may work in a precinct, you may know every cop in there, but precincts also have outside units coming to the police to help them. Like, I was in gang, so I spent a lot of time in the 6-7 precinct, and I love those guys. And not only, listen, picking up a radio run was not beneath me. If they were backlogged and guys couldn't get to lunch, well, I'm still a cop. Even though it says detective, I'm still a cop. I'll pick up a radio run for guys now and again. I even picked up a couple car accidents, start filling out the accident reports, the aided cards. Yeah, I did. I mean, it's something we do, you know. It's us being able to rely on each other at all costs. And that is a big thing, especially in a world like today. You know, you're not alone out there. Too many cops feel they're alone. They have nobody to talk to. The job will work against them. I've had plenty of friends on this job that have committed suicide because they feel like they're alone. And that's why the thin blue line works into our lives. Because there's no reason I can't pick up a phone and talk to my old partner. Or talk to my partner before that guy. Or talk to an old boss. No reason. I mean, I can at any time. I can get help. And that's important to know. That is really important to know. Especially in a job where you see so much misery and shit that goes on. and the things that bad people do. I want that fight. I want that fight at the highest level against these bad people. I want to do good things to bad people. Or bad things to bad people. One of the two. But that's it. You want a hot ticket to a show? I mean, you want to see a building empty out faster than a fire drill that the building was on fire? Get on. Well, not telling you to get on police radio. Do it. But listen, go to YouTube. There's plenty of NYPD help calls, 1013 calls, and listen to them. It really breaks your heart. Now, the cop responding, because I was that cop plenty of times, my asshole's puckered up because I got to get there. I got to get there and help this cop before he's hurt. That's my job. My job is to get there and protect him. So this thin blue line actually means a lot to a lot of people. Now we got people saying the thin blue line is a gang. Listen, you want to think of it as a gang, we protect each other. We help each other. That's what we're there for. We spill the same blood. We spill this different blood in the same mud. We've all fought in the same places. It's our job to get there. And even after retirement, it's my job to still protect cops. That's what it is. When I drive around, if a cop's rolling with a guy on the floor, I'm getting out of my truck to help. It's just who I am. And it's important for you to realize that. It's extremely important for you to realize that. So this thin blue line, this thin blue gang symbol they say it is, it's not at all. It's just us looking out for us. It should speak volumes about the police and how much we care for our own. Sheriff's constable, sheriff's deputy, constable, police officer, detective, marshal, special agent, we're all part of the thin blue line. We all are. We toe the line every day. We help victims of crimes. We get justice for people who have been murdered, for the people who can't speak anymore. We bring a lot of families peace by arresting the person who killed their loved one or assaulted their loved one or maimed their loved one. That's our job. Our job, we answer to each other. It's pretty goddamn basic mathematics if you ask me. Cop calls for help, you go. You call for help, cops come. There are plenty of times where me and my partner have been involved in something and it's spun way out of control. I've been on both ends of that spectrum. Calling for help and trying to be the first one there to help. Matter of fact, I'm going to throw a link in to a fight I had that's been videotaped. And again, it wasn't police body camera. This was somebody who videotaped us making an arrest. The arrest got out of hand. Building emptied out on us. And it's actually pretty good that this guy videoed it because he put it up on World Star. So we quickly grabbed the video. And when it came for trial for this guy, and he said he wasn't resisting arrest, all we had to do was just push play. And the jury got to see the video second for second, minute for minute, word for word, and see the actions for what actions were. We had the guy pinned against the car, the building emptied out, we couldn't turn our backs on anybody. I was grabbing one arm, my partner was grabbing the other arm, I was watching his back, he was watching my back, but we knew if we took him to the floor to cuff him up, which is basic operating procedure, that the crowd would rush us. So I got on the radio. Central, send me additional units to 1054 Union Street. And then it got all garbled because she didn't hear me because the crowd's yelling, the adrenaline's pumping, I'm getting a little fucking crazy myself. Central, send me an additional unit to 1054 Union Street. Can I get a unit to respond to 1011 President Street? That's not what I said. Central, give me a car to 1054 Union Street now. And then she mistakes it again. Then I got a little crazy on the radio. Central, send me a fucking car to 1054 Union Street. Now, when you watch the video, on the bottom of this, in the description, click the link. You'll hear me plain as day saying that. Central, send us units. Because we were in the same position that cop was, but it wasn't as crazy yet. Now, I'm not going to money quarterback this cop. Not at all. I mean, he could have gotten on the radio a little sooner before it started getting crazy. But listen, hindsight being 2020, you get to look and say, yeah, I should have done this. I should have done that. It happened. But sometimes it happens so fast. What do? You react. And you think to yourself, I'm not going home tonight. This is how it ends? On a gutter in Brooklyn? I wind up getting capped in the fucking street? I die in the gutter? No. You get on the radio and you call for help. And you know, not because they're obligated they're coming, because they want to help you. I don't care if you were a shit cop and I fucking hated you. I was going to help you. I was going to get to that job and help you. And I would hand out gratuitous violence if I had to. But if I didn't have to, still a better day for me. Now you're in the car responding and your heart's pounding and you're like, gotta get there. Gotta get there. You get in tunnel vision, so your partner's got to keep watching for you, make sure you don't blow a stop sign and get T-boned. And you roll 84. You go to Radio Central, gang portal, we're 84, we're here Central, we're going to check and advise. You get out of the car and you see it going on, you got to stop for a second. Take a deep breath, because you don't want to go in there so hot that you start throwing people beatings when you don't have to. But you got to get to those cops. You got to get to the position they're in to multiply their numbers, so it's harder for them to take the perp. It's harder for them to assault the cop. Now, these cops are probably in plain clothes. They're anti-crime. That's all the call is. We have an anti-crime in the NYPD for years. For years! But once the uniform shows up, and we're the police, and they can tell we're the police, no matter what this cop was saying on the radio or not, once the radio car shows up, the RMP with the lights going, and you get out of that car, your nightstick in your hand, and you're ready to go, it solves a lot of problems real fucking quick. It does. Just the omnipresence of it all stops the problems real quick. The worst feeling in the world is when a cop calls for help and you get to the location he put over, and he's not there. He's not there at all. His car's there. The lights are still going on in the car, but where's he? So now you got to go looking for him. And God knows where the fuck he is. God knows if he's even conscious. God knows if he's even alive. You got to find that cop, most Ricky Tick. Either render medical aid to him, or to stop the beating that he is being dished by whatever purpose dishing it to him, and get him back to safety. Get him back home at the end of the night. There was plenty of nights that I walked by the grace of my own partner. I got home by the grace of him. Because things could have gone sideways real fucking quick. We've always looked out for each other. And that's what the Thin Blue Line's about. I mean, I can't come up with any more than to tell you that we watch out for each other. I mean, to the idiot that asked me that question on September 11th, I hope this answers it for you. This is your own little personal video for it, because I've been thinking about it for a while. It's just sad altogether that we have to call for help, and we got to say, Central, keep them coming. They're emptying out precincts. They're taking resources away from other precincts and other people to deal with their problems to go help a brother or sister out. 3 precincts. Every precinct turns about 8 cars, so that's 16 per shift times 3. Yeah, there's a lot of cops coming. It was so bad that aviation was going to the 13 and 85. I mean, the 85 then 13. In case you guys didn't know what it is, 1085 is sending me additional units. Just no emergency, give me a call over here. Maybe step it up a little bit, but you know, before it turns into a full-blown 1013, I got an officer shot. I got an officer down. My partner's hurt, Central. Get me another car here. Get me help, Central. And these cops, you can hear the fear in his fucking voice. We've all been there on the job. Things always go sideways for any cop that's on the job. You find yourself in over your head. And then after you learn that lesson, you become very, very particular what you do on the street. You almost become methodical, like a scalpel. You want to be sharp. You want to be in. You want to be out. No fuss, no muss. Get the perp back to the house. Get nobody hurt. And be able to go home to kiss your wife, play with your kid, or pet your dog. I almost said pet your wife, kiss your kid, and hug your dog. But on last show, I said I would start wearing baseball caps to different departments. I want to expand on that for people. If you work in a military unit, and your unit's got its own hat, you want to be represented on the show, go to my email. Send me the details. I'll tell you where to send the hat out. You get a free Dutch Doll t-shirt with every hat that comes in. I'll give you a shout out, talk about your perp, about your peeps, maybe do a little history on the unit that you're in, make you feel good about yourself. Maybe you say, tell your commanding officer that you got a shout out from Dutch Doyle. Maybe he watches the show, maybe he doesn't. Hey, what does it hurt? At least you got a shout out. You get some pride shown for your unit. Let people know about it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Because I personally always incorporate the military and first responders. But I was told I needed to make that clearer, and I wanted to make it clearer. Folks, if you've ever been in fear so bad that the blood is running out of your hands or out of your face or dropping to the floor, yeah, you learn to respect that thin blue line real quick. Real fucking quick. Most Ricky tick. But that's it. We're here to help each other. No matter what jurisdiction, what state, whatever, active or retired, we're here to help each other. It's a club. It's an exclusive club. That's the best way to put it. It's an exclusive club. And the benefits far outweigh the dues. Always ask, all cops respond to 85. Just ask one thing, another cop. I hope you would do the same for me one day. That's it. That's it. That's all respect. That's all we expect in return. That you will be there when I need help, because everybody goes through their career, and there's at least one time you're screaming on the radio. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I had a habit of going over so calmly and so quietly, I wouldn't get cars there. I get 1 or 2 cars there, but there are times where I've called for help. Central Semi Unit now, and I get 14 to 15 cars there. When I called my 85 on Franklin and Union, 1054 Union Street, the first car that showed up was the furthest precinct from the location. So I was in a precinct, but a car that, with 2 precincts over, beat the first sector there. I knew I was going to be okay. When I saw who was in that car step out, we got room to work now. We're going to be fine. We're absolutely going to be fine. Help is here. The cavalry has arrived. Yeah. And it's the same thing with corrections officers. They're battling with a inmate, and they hit that klaxon. They need help to get on the radio. They hear those keys jingling. They know corrections officers are coming, and they're coming quick. I had a fight on a southbound 2 train into Flatbush. I had to call for help. Got on the radio, send me units right now. I was fighting with the guy on the platform, and I was petering out. I mean, I knew I was going to lose the fight. And then I start hearing keys, because transit cops were fucking synonymous with keeping giant key rings on so they can get into any room in the transit system. And I start hearing those keys coming down the stairs. And I knew at that point I could start lightening up. I didn't have to fight as hard because these guys were coming. These guys were coming to help. But folks, that is the best way I can explain it to you. I mean, unless you live in the cop culture or you remember the job or the armed services, it's really hard for anybody else to explain to somebody what it really means. And it means something different to everybody. When I had the house fire, I still had help from the NYPD. They will always be my brothers and sisters. Always. Retired guys, I'm here to help. Especially now. I'm here, never here to give a free handout. But if guys are down in their luck or they're having problems at home, my couch is always open to you. I got another bedroom that's always open to you. And that's what I try to do. I try to keep paying it forward to these guys, because maybe one day I might need it. And the first place I'm going to go to is a retired cop. So it is what it is. So folks, next time you see an officer standing at foot post, doing some community policing and whatnot, at least walk over to the guy, thank him for his service. Thank you, officer. I really appreciate what you do. Because we don't hear it enough. We don't. And with all this A1A auditor bullshit, and we're getting treated like shit from the city council because our mayor fucking hates us, yeah. Say thank you. Brighten up that cop's day. Show them you care. Show them you care that we're out here protecting you. But anyway, folks, that's 25 minutes. I'm Dutch Dahl. These are my discussions. I hope I answered a lot of questions for people. I'll be back on Friday. All right, guys. All right, bye.